Are you an expat wondering why Spanish speakers never ask how much is it or how much does it cost in Spanish the way that you learned in your textbook or app? In this video, I'm going to clear all of that up. I'm going to give you 5 different ways to ask how much does it cost or how much is it in Spanish. First, let's talk about the way you learned on the app or in a textbook or in a classroom. ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta means how much does it cost? It's the most traditional, common, popular way to ask the question. So this is a great start. It's short, clear, to the point, and it's a universal. You're going to hear it all over the Spanish-speaking world. And you might hear it locally where you are too. And you can use it in any situation. Here are some other common ways you can ask how much is it in Spanish. ¿Cuánto vale? ¿Cuánto vale? Notice that V sounds like a soft B. It literally means, how much is it worth? But when people ask this question, they want to know, how much does it cost? So for example, if you see a nice purse that you like, and depending on where you are, purse can have so many different names. But if you see a nice purse, you can say, ¿cuánto vale? And you just point at it or you just hold it up. ¿Cuánto vale if you're a beginner? But if you're a little bit more advanced and you know the name for purse, you can include it in the question. You can say, ¿cuánto vale la bolsa? ¿Cuánto vale la bolsa? Let's get to the next one. ¿Qué precio tiene? ¿Qué precio tiene? The literal translation here is, what price does it have? Now that literal translation sounds really awkward in English, but in Spanish, it sounds just fine. And you can use this anywhere: the grocery store, the market, Walmart, the mall. If you're a beginner and you don't know the word for avocado, you can just hold it up and say, ¿Qué precio tiene? Boom. ¿Qué precio tiene? But if you're a little more advanced and you know the word for avocado is aguacate, you can say, ¿Qué precio tiene el aguacate? ¿Qué precio tiene el aguacate? And if you're in a market, they probably won't give you the price for the individual avocado or produce item. They'll probably give you the price per kilo and not price per pound. And for all of you Americans out there, just know that 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. Me, I don't want to do all that math in my head, so I just round down to 2 pounds equals 1 kilo and just call it a day. Now, if I'm going too fast, not to worry. I included a cheat sheet with all of these questions and a brief description in the description box below. This next one is very country specific. ¿Cuánto sería? ¿Cuánto sería? It means, how much would it be? It's a very polite, kind of fancy way of asking, how much does it cost? And I've heard it in many different states in Mexico, so it's very common here. And you can use this in so many different situations. If you are at the market, if you're at the grocery store, you're buying some clothes, or if you're paying for a service, or if you're paying your internet bill at Oxxo, you can use ¿Cuánto sería? And it's the most normal thing in Mexico. So for example, if you're at the office where you need to pay your light bill, you would say ¿Cuánto sería? In the context, everybody knows you're talking about you're paying for the bill. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you can just add light bill in there. You would say ¿Cuánto sería para la factura de luz? ¿Cuánto sería para la factura de luz? And finally, here's another way to ask, how much does it cost, like a local? You can say, ¿A cuánto está? ¿A cuánto está? Now, the literal translation is kind of funky. It means, at how much is it? This is the perfect example why, when you're learning a second language, shoot for the meaning rather than literal word-for-word translations, because sometimes those literal meanings don't make any sense. ¿A cuánto está? Is usually used in grocery stores for food items with prices that change by season. You can also use ¿A cuánto está? For non-food items with changing prices or fluctuating prices like gas or currency. So here's an example at the grocery store. So if you're a beginner, you can just point, or you can just hold up the tomato and you can say, ¿A cuánto está? If you're more advanced, you can include the tomato in the sentence, ¿A cuánto está el tomate? Now they're going to give you the price by kilo, so just be aware of that. All of these different ways to ask how much does it cost or how much is it will help you sound just a little more local, whether you're a beginner or advanced. Tell me in the comments if you already use these. Now here's where it gets fun. For all of the beginners, I have a challenge for you. I want you to go out into your community and eavesdrop. Go to a busy market, a produce stand, or a grocery store and stand next to the cashier or the person who's taking orders and just eavesdrop. Eavesdrop on the locals. You want to listen to how they're asking, how much is it? How much does it cost? There's power in eavesdropping. It helps you develop your Spanish ear so you can better understand what people are saying. It also gives you an idea of how people ask for the cost of things in your area locally. So you may hear one, all five, or none of the questions I share with you in this video. You want to know how local Spanish speakers in your community ask for the cost of things. It's a great way to practice your listening skills, and it's a good way to practice your numbers too. And once you feel more confident, you can go out there and ask one of the questions from the list and then listen carefully to the response. So the goal isn't just about knowing like, okay, these are the questions you can ask, how much does it cost? The goal is also for you to start getting the practice of wrapping your mouth around those Spanish words and listening to the responses. Sí se puede. You can do it. And just so you know, I teach everyday Spanish designed for expats, immigrants, and travelers. And if you want more information, if you want to get in contact with me, check out the description below. If you like these short Spanish lessons, hit the like button and share this with a friend who's trying to learn the Spanish basics. Hasta luego.